Yeah.
You like a tornado warning siren for a second there?
Oh, that would have been good. But alas, I am no tornado. I am no warning sign for tornadoes, good sir.
I ain't one of them there tornado warning signs.
I am the tornado. That's storm leader. Tornadoes are part of storms. Tornadoes are my jurisdiction.
That's absolutely fair. But you're also the Mahale that's on top of everything today.
I mean, I don't know about all that.
Well, you're on top of everything about this.
You
have no idea how close y'all came to almost either not having an episode or it being a solo monologue from Yosora Von Mahale.
I won't lie. I was about 30 seconds away from just starting to message people. Hello, Beth. Y'all, go check out Beth Doma on all of her streams. She's amazing. She is super good at games.
But
and is just super fun as well. So lurk away.
Don't go and watch her stream tonight. It's terrible tonight.
Not.
There isn't one. That's why it's terrible, because there isn't one.
That is why it's terrible. We got a great show for you tonight. I'm really excited about this one. I'm just going to give you a little heads up. This is what I named my phone. So if you are like trying to connect with random Bluetooth things, and this will pop up if you are in my general vicinity, because this is what I named my phone. And I'm excited to talk about it because I don't think we've talked about it before. I think we've talked about it like as a piece of another thing, but I don't think we've ever done a specific discussion about this particular object of the power. It's our one-hit wonder series. I didn't say that. It's our one-hit wonder series. One-hit wonder. It makes like one appearance for a couple of chapters at the very end of the book.
Yeah. But before we get to that, next calendar. Well, some wires got crossed. Oh,
Morshadi, we are sensitive to that. I need you to not mess us up like that.
Did we get our wires crossed?
Nope.
Probably.
It is Tuesday night, right?
Yeah, no, not that kind of cross. I think we maybe had put something else on the calendar, and when everything went fucking, we had to shift everything.
Oh, Check's calendar. Oh. Check's calendar.
My calendar says we didn't confirm the thing yet, so.
Hashtag not my calendar. Wait, what?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm Andrew, your Bajan Mahale, by the way, here at this here Black Tower podcast thingamajigger that we do.
Is Morshadi supposed to be here with us tonight?
Well, remember we had rescheduled the rapid fire quiz thing. But I didn't think I had ever confirmed that we had ever confirmed the date that we moved it to was Morshadi.
No. Well, I don't know. That was you guys were planning that.
It's funny because the last time I didn't put a note on it that we needed to confirm still. And when we started the day going into that, and it was like, oh yeah, no, we're not doing that.
This time I just looked at the calendar and it was one-hit wonders, and I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna grab something that's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. But no, if you look down towards the bottom where I moved the thing with Morshadi, I still have the note on it that says need to confirm with Morshadi.
Shadi, you're available tonight? You want to jump on in?
Yeah. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, it's about on par for a good.
So
I was about to say, you were fully naked in our forums. Why are you all of a sudden now coming up with a sense of modesty, sir?
What?
Shit, we could pull Beth in here too and just have a full foursome.
Now he's enticed by the Sakarnen. Sakarnen. The Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Everybody.
Anyway, it's BTP night. It's night for you to pull out your liquid taint. Yep. Num, 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 num. It's time for you to relax, sit back in your favorite chair, and listen to the sultry sounds of our voices. It's what?
We're professionals, can't you tell?
That's right. That's right. As we delve into another Wheel of Time topic, because we are the Black Tower podcast, we are a Wheel of Time podcast, and we discuss all things Wheel of Time, be it books, TV show, or just fandom type things in general, because we love it. Because we love it. All of you out there, you know who I am. I am Josh. I'm your Sora on my heel. My heel? Damn. Okay, words. We can word. I bring
what
the
hurts?
tornadoes.
My heel?
I bring the tornadoes.
Right, there's plenty of storms going on right now.
Yeah, there are.
The outer bands of Debbie, and I don't mean little Debbie, are making their rounds. It's funny, we went to leave work today and just looked outside and like, fucking no. Just absolutely pissing rain. And we left our umbrellas in our cars. You know, because we're adulty adults that are always prepared. But yeah, the brain will catch up to what we're trying to do today eventually. But
you're introducing yourself.
Is not it. I already did.
Oh, did you?
I did that earlier.
Oh, this is gonna be great. We're off to a great start. Hey, Andrew, before we blow up too much, why don't you give them our spoiler warning? Because we're about to get all kinds of spoilery up in this.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play. This one's courtesy of the Registered Nerd.
This is your Black Tower podcast, Wheel of Time spoiler warning.
Need some sending it ready.
There are neither beginnings nor endings to spoilers, but this is a beginning. If you continue to listen, you may be cursed with the knowledge yet to come. These curses may include knowledge that you are, in fact, just a farm boy. Drinking one glass of wine now leads to mustache pulling and a hell of a hangover. Resigning that you will never be as good with the ladies as your friends are. Realizing Androl is bae, regardless of your gender or sexual orientation. The inability to stop tugging your braid in anger, even if you don't have hair. And understanding that the word taint is simultaneously a noun, adjective, and verb. Discovering you have more titles than actual name. The BDE, also known as Big Dragon Energy, becomes undeniable. Finding yourself promising to read A New Spring and never. An uncontrollable urge to argue over inconsistent pronunciations. Knowing that hating Gon is a responsibility, not a privilege. Again, there are no beginnings or endings to spoilers, but this is a beginning. You have been warned.
Yeah, you have. You've been warned. This is us warning you. Do you feel warned?
Yeah, in multiple ways. I just saw that I have one of those fancy mega alerts for flash flood warning.
Oh snap!
Live close to the coast, they said. It'd be fun, they said.
Oh yes, that's
duck
right.
Sauce packet. I thought that said Dick Sauce Packet Boy, and I was like,
no, duck sauce.
A different thing.
We got to bring back the duck sauce because you know what? We haven't called Gowan duck sauce packet boy for a while. We got to bring that back because it's just so true. It's too true, really.
Really is.
Also, duty. I love it.
Oh,
snap! Beth is throwing down some. You know what? We're gonna have to do a Gawain episode and bring on Beth because she's got some things to say on this topic. I thought we buried this one with John from What Up.
I mean, oh, never an episode I'm excited to have, but you know.
But it's a responsibility. We just established this. It's a responsibility. Yeah. So tonight's episode is Sakarnen. Now, really quick off the top of your head, pause this video. Well, after I ask the question, pause the video. Do you know what a Sakarnen is? Pause.
It's a resident of the planet Sakar.
It is not.
That Jeff Goldblum rules over. Yeah, definitely what it is.
It is not.
The light. It's Marvel's version of Planet Hulk Light.
Oh, Sakarnen, gosh, is the most powerful male sangreal. Mm-hmm. It is the most powerful sangreal for saidin, with the exception of the Choden Kal.
Man,
the Choden Kal
that's some modern media style language.
Modern media.
Yeah, man. It's the most powerful, with the exception of.
It's got lots of saidin, so much saidin.
Oh, God.
More saidin than anything else in the world. The best saidin.
Definitely not the route I was suggesting.
Okay, but I this is perfect for our one hit wonders series because really, it makes like one appearance like in the end of the story, and then it is destroyed again, and it's like, what? Okay. I feel like it's one of those things, you know, because there's a lot of people that get all funky about the last battle when they're like, yeah, Sharans are just coming in out of nowhere.
We don't know that it was destroyed. It's presumed lost forever. But it could just be super mega ultra buried.
Super mega. Well, I thought it Yes.
Everything is phallic.
On purpose. If you're gonna do it, do it on purpose, right?
On purpose.
No, but it shows up at the last battle. Demandred pops up out of nowhere with a whole ass army, and oh, by the way, the most powerful male sangreal ever created, with the exception of the Choden Kal, thought to have been lost to myth and legend 2,000
it's fair
years
to say,
prior.
At the time we see it, you're not wrong. At the time we see it, it is the most powerful. Because the Choden Kal have been destroyed by this
Absolutely,
point.
Yeah.
So at the time it makes an appearance, it is the most powerful sangreal in existence.
It's actually
Demandred just showed up like the big dick in the locker room, just fucking swinging. Which, I mean, I don't know how that feels like, but I've heard stories.
I've heard it's a pretty great feeling.
Yeah. I've heard it's a massive confidence boost.
Well, but there's some other unique things about Sakarnen that I actually really, really enjoy as a bit of a plot point. And that is that Sakarnen, to my knowledge, is the only object of the power that was like came in pieces. There was two different pieces, right? So Demandred, you know, he's free from the boar, immediately fucks off to Shara and starts fulfilling prophecies of Bao the Willed. And Jesuit vibe from this. right? Because he's like, oh, I'm going to study their prophecies and do all the things so that they think I'm their version of the Dragon Reborn. And it's like, okay, cool. And then one of the things that happens is he finds the rod and thinks he has Sakarnen. The rod is thought to be completely lost, right? But he finds that, and it's like, here you go, buddy. And he thinks he's got Sakarnen. He does not. He gets super mad, and he ends up having to piece together legends and lore. And he pieces together legends and lore to find the other piece of Sakarnen to complete the Sangreal. Do you know of any other Sangreal that disassemble like that? Because even like Vora's Sangreal, which is the female equivalent of the most powerful Sangreal for women, apart from the Choden Kal, that's a single piece.
I want to say like the Paralis nets, but they are inherently like just a collection of other Angreal.
Yeah, they've got a collection of Angreal, Sangreal,
that's more of like,
yeah,
that's more of like saying like, yeah, it separates because it was never necessarily meant to be a singular like item anyway. So yeah, I don't know of another one that does. Yeah, generally they don't. I think this is the only one.
So I think it's kind of cool that not only that, but we also have kind of a Holy Grail story, right? Because Sakarnen was separated into two pieces, and it's described as a rod with a hourglass shaped goblet affixed to the top. And I feel like an hourglass shaped goblet. I took it literally in our thumbnail because I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean,
it looks like it's like the why can't I? The Holy Grail. It's the Holy Grail, right? Because there's when you look at the wizard going to look for, he finds the rod, he gets pissed, he goes to find the cup portion of the Sangreal, and it's in like this cave that's guarded by a Jumara. And it's like Sharans will go to this thing to like prove their manliness to see if they are bow the willed, and they end up dying because it's a fucking Jumara.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have all this lore behind it. Like they have their own name. So like the cavern is called Ra-Lair or whatever. The Heart Tomb and is the source of Angrea-La, or the River of Souls. Located in the Chasm Abraward, which I'm butchering all of those things because I'm butchering, words. I'm sure.
Our spoiler warning did say that you would not be able to pronounce any of these, so that's fine.
I mean, that we would argue over inconsistency.
Oh, that we would argue. Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, this whole area that the goblet part became or came to rest in has been like part of lore, to where they're like, oh, the Jumara became the guardian of the cup because it's here. And I mean, it would have been a lot cooler if it was just, a rabbit, a killer rabbit, that's hanging out at the mouth of the cave.
You shall find the Holy Grail in the castle of. You shall find the Sakarnen in the cave of.
But I love how. So you have you have that just hanging out, along with the head of a Nim. So one of Shemesta's fellow construct Nims, just the head is hanging
Dang.
out.
I didn't know about
Like,
the head. That's crazy.
yeah, there's just the like living head of a Nim there, kind of with the Jamara, both working to keep the cup safe until Demandred shows up and murks them both.
You walk
And it's
into a
kind of written
cave
like
and you've got like Groot's head just hanging there. I am Groot.
I imagine it's something like a really weird like Jabba the Hutt with the head of a Nim as like a medallion necklace. Like the
That
Jamara's
would be
been
cool.
around this goblet so long that it can kind of intelligently move or something, just some weird thing like that.
That would be fun.
But not like the Mandrid getting the cup, which to him is just like you have to do, and it's kind of written and everything and talked about like it really wasn't a massive problem for him to do. Um, Especially like if the Jamara is in the cave and can't get out of the cave because it's too big, then you could just stand at the start of the cave and like, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Oh look, it's the phallus.
It's
Ah,
just a little bit of the phallus.
oh, I'm
Just
gonna
the
poke
tip.
it in the eye. Did Jamara only have one eye?
Jamara definitely only have one eye.
Yeah.
That is canon.
But
You heard it here at the Black Tower.
yeah, but claiming the cup fulfilled one of the biggest Sharan prophecies that only Bao the Wild would be able to do this, and it was a prophecy that Bao the Wild has returned when he comes and claims the cup. And so he did. He claimed the cup.
Then he
Yep.
chat is popping off tonight. Thanks guys. Love you. Love having you here. So I want to see a scene in the TV show where it's like there's the movie where they've always like they open up the case and they've got the modular sniper rifle where they're putting it together. And they're like putting all the shit together. I want to see that with the Sakarnen. I want Demandred to be like, I want it. I don't care how simple it is. I don't care that it's only two pieces. I need that.
Look, and that's the hardest part. Demandra is just sitting there trying to figure out how to reattach them.
How do I put it together?
That's why he's so pissed. That's the one part of the Sakarnen that he never learned how to separate them and put them back together. That's why he's so. That's why he's so fucking mad. He's so fucking mad because he's like, how do I put the shit back together?
Oh god. But okay, but that,
he's like
therein
the
lies
kid in
another.
Basic that everybody's showing him how to break down and put his M16 back together, and he just can't even grasp how to get the charging handle out. Like,
okay, but therein lies another question. Like, granted, this is not going to be a perfect example because obviously the Sakarnen was built to be disassembled for whatever reason. But other Tirangrial, and maybe again it's not a perfect example because maybe it's Tirangrial, difference of Sangrial. But when the Black Aja sisters in the Dragon Reborn use that little hedgehog and Fail goes to sleep. Oh, that's a good one. The Green Knight. Guarding the Holy Grail. Do you know what's interesting? Sorry, I'm like jumping here. Do you know what's interesting though is I did read through the wiki. I'm not seeing references to the Holy Grail. Like, is this really? Did they not put that in there, or is that not a parallel that's widely recognized?
I don't know. I mean, it definitely could be. I'm saving a picture right now.
I mean, it's like the center of prophecy, right? It is used in conjunction with a rod, which a rod could be like Excalibur or something. Like, I don't know, just holy relics. It only works when both pieces are together.
Yeah. So another name for the Sakarnen is the Jet. D''Jedt. Fuck it, man. But so the way this Sakarnen is described matches the Egyptian Djed symbol, which is associated with the Egyptian gods Husa and Osiris. This is that symbol, and it's kind of got that hourglass stem, like the stem of the symbol is like that,
okay.
and then it comes out to. I mean, this is, more of like a tower,
Yeah,
a tower or something like that. It's a
well, but
pillar. That's the word I
the
was looking for.
concept remains, right? You know, you've got like sort of a rod, right, that you can hold on to. And then you've got a secondary piece on top. Now, this one doesn't look like a goblet. This one looks like, you know, a building, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this apparently it's like meant to look like the spine of or the backbone of Osiris. Is the like a kind of like English translation for what the name would be.
All right. All right. All right.
And it comes from the Egyptians recognized the importance of the spine and saw it as a symbol that kept Osiris, the resurrected god, intact and able to function. Which makes the fact of how powerful the Sakarnen is when it's in like one piece kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of the things I love about doing like these one-off, these one-hit wonder type situations is that there is a lot of depth in a lot of these different things, and we feel like, you know, they're just, we throw them in there, or Robert Jordan threw them in there as like a plot point, but he actually had a lot of thought in a lot of these different things. And if I'm not mistaken, this plot point is Robert Jordan's. However, Brandon Sanderson's influence might be the reason why Sakarnen is the only sangreal that is able to be disassembled.
Yeah. There might be another reason too.
Do you think we can lay that at the feet of Sanderson?
I think it really just depends on who came up with the concept.
Yes.
So, because if the Djed from Egyptian mythos or religion is associated both with Ptah, who's a creator god, and Osiris, god of the afterlife and the underworld. I mean, that has a bit of a yin and yang dynamic to it already, with part for creation and part for death. So breathing new life into things and taking life away. I wonder if that's why it's two parts. That part of how they made the singular Angreal so powerful is that the two parts are kind of geared or lend strength in different aspects.
We've theorized already that, well, we know for a fact that in order to make Angreal, you need a key, right? You need a tier Angreal known as a key to create Angreal, and we've theorized that when you create an Angreal for Saidin, you have to create an Angreal for Saidar as well, which is why Kalendor is flawed, right? We've had theory episodes. As a matter of fact, I think London was on with us at the first Gathering Madness when she hung out with us like years ago, where she was talking about that. And I think that was the first time that we kind of skirted the Sangreal or Angreal and Sangreal were created as two halves, like two pieces at the same time. So you've got Sakarnen and Vora's Sangreal that are counterpoints, right? They're equal in power because they were created at the same time. Now, I just looked up Vora to see if there is anything special about that. And Webster's dictionary says Vora is ones that eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's usually used in an etymological nomenclature, such as a specific thing that you eat, right? So the example they give here is insectivora, someone or something that only eats insects.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't line up with that at all.
I mean, Vora's Angreal has the same flaw that Kalendor does. It has no buffer to protect the channeler from taking in too much side air.
That's not the flaw in Kalendor, though.
No, that is the public, like the notable flaw with Kalendor. I mean, it has the one we know about that allows you to, fucking mind swap.
It's unstable to channel through Kalendor without both a male and a female channeler linked while using it. That's why when Rand is hanging out there when he launches his attack against the Shanchan using it, he goes insane with it because it's unstable, because he doesn't have saidin there to even keel, to keep it on.
Yeah, well, no, the saidin through Kalendor acts as the buffer, and the link allows you to control more of the power. So the lack of a buffer to protect you from drawing too much gets mitigated by saidin and being in a link.
Right, but remember, there's the part, and I can't remember who it is. It's one of the Forsaken who is disguised as an Ashaman, and I can never remember his damn name. But Rand is at the point where he's like holding on to saidin, like just full time, and the Forsaken, who's hiding out as an Ashaman, comes up to Rand and is like, "Look at the flow; they're out of control." I thought that was the flaw in Kalendor.
So Kalendor has 3 flaws.
Right.
You have the lack of a buffer, so you can pull unlimited through it until you die. It has the effect of amplifying the taint on saidin, so you're far more likely to go mad while using it. And it has a built-in trap that makes male channelers wielding it susceptible to links with female channelers. So while using it, you can be forced to link as a male channeler. You can be forced to link with a female channeler and be placed under their control, and you can't break out of the circle.
Right. Cadsuane even looks at it and says,
Kalendor.
Yeah, Cadsuane even tells Rand that only a woman can control those flows. A man has to be linked to a woman, and the woman has to be in control of the circle in order for Kalendor to be used properly.
To use safely. Kalendor is inherently flawed.
Okay.
Because of
to
those
be used safely.
Things.
To be used safely, that's a good way to put it.
So basically, if you go into it with a trusted female channeler that will link with you, then you're buffeted against the trap. Basically, it's like it's like taking a potion of fire resistance before jumping in the lava in Minecraft. You won't burn because you've already taken the step to counter the consequence. So so both it and Vora's Sangreal have the same main what I would consider the main flaw, which is the lack of a buffer. There's no
The
governor
lack of a
on this
buffer.
car.
Right. Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
which
We're
is
back
part
on
of
track.
what makes it so useful for going. Like the thing about Vora's Sangreal is it just doesn't seem to have any of the other flaws. There's no taint on side air for it to amplify, and there's no trap built into Vora's Saw Angreal. So it's like Kalendor without the two.
Okay.
Honestly, I would say lesser problems. Um, that Kalendor has.
Yeah.
So I would think that Vora's Sangreal and Kalendor were more likely to be built together, and like you said earlier, without the proper use of a key to create a proper Angreal.
Except keep in mind that Kalendor is also a Sangreal for the true source. It's not just a saidin Sangreal, it's a Sangreal for the true source.
Well, and side air, I guess technically. But
so like that's what I was getting at. Like I feel like it lines up with our theory that Angreal and Sangreal are made in pairs. And if Kalendor is made for all three, then that would be why those flaws exist in the first place. Obviously, no buffer, that's I think that's inherent of most, if not all, Sangreal, because the Choden Kal had that same thing. There was no buffer. The only buffer they had for this Choden Kal, I believe, were the Tirangreal that allowed you to access the Choden Kal. But like when Rand sees the one for saidin outside of Carrion, he's like almost drawn in because it's so huge a source of saidin that he almost can't control himself. Does that make sense?
yeah, I'm looking through some other stuff real quick. Because I mean,
wine. I love the question. I don't know. I think it would depend on when Kalendor was made.
I think how open Kalendor is that allows it to be so many different things and have the flaws is like, I think most of it is the bug that gets treated like a feature. I think because Kalendor's creation definitely was so flawed, because it being made by Aes Sedai means they had no chance at even trying to make any kind of Angreal that would attune or work with or accept the true source, true power. I can never fucking remember which one. The one through that there Devil Daddy. Shaitan is now just Devil Daddy.
I thought it was one power, true source. That's what I thought.
You're probably right. I fucking don't remember, man. Wheel of Time, true source, true power, source of energies. Okay, so it's the true power is the source from the dark one. Okay. True power. You would think by now we would figure that out, but I forget all the time.
We're experts.
Yeah. So it would almost actually that would make me think that Kalendor was made first, and then Vora's Sangreal was made using what they learned from Kalendor, and that's why Vora's Sangreal has less kind of weirdness about it. And the only bad thing is it doesn't have a buffer, which again could be feature, not a bug.
So are you saying are you stepping away from the Sangreal dual creation theory?
I mean, I don't think they have to be. I don't think you have to create two Sangreal for every one that you want to make. Like, I mean, the Choden Kal being made in tandem makes sense because they're like, well, we need one for each side to use together. So I think that was purpose driven, but
all right. So, well, but point being, going back to Sakarnen, I forgot what the point was.
we're comparing
We
its
got distracted
strength
with
to
Kalendor.
Vora's Sangreal.
Well,
Because
yeah.
Vora's
So
Sangreal is the most
Vora
powerful
and Sakarnen,
attuned to saidin or Sidair.
yeah, Vora and Sakarnen are equal in power, and Kalendor is lesser. It's a lesser Sangreal than Vora's and Sakarnen.
I don't know that they're necessarily equal. I think they're comparable, but Vora's Sangreal like has potentially limitless power. It's only
Right.
limited by how much power the wielder can use. So because that's how much the more power you can hold
Right.
before you burn out means that you can pull more through Vora Sangreal, which makes it scalable in power to the inherent like tolerance of the wielder. But Sakarnen has presumably a buffer.
Does it?
Presumably, I mean, we don't know one way or the other, but we don't
I
have anything to indicate that there's the same flaw with it that there
I
is
mean,
with
I will
Kalendor and
say
Vora's.
I will say this: the one unique feature with Sakarnen, I guess the second unique feature with Sakarnen is not only is it modular, but it also Demandred claims that he has what's the word?
Attuned
He's
it
like
to himself.
bonded or
Yeah.
imprinted himself on Sakarnen, right? So nobody else as well as he can because he has bound it to himself. Now that is an unsubstantiated claim.
Yeah, I think he's full of shit.
You do?
Yeah,
You,
I think he's absolutely full of shit.
and you think Taim is playing into that, or is like he just trying to like be impressive to his new peers?
I have no fucking clue why anybody's doing anything, but I think Demandred's full of shit. I think it's a claim that he makes to make other people hesitate because uh, there's no way to tell.
Say,
But
well, and this is you're not wrong. There is no way to tell, right? Because the only
yeah,
thing we have is the word of Demandred, who said it's mine, and then the word of Taim, who says, it's so hard to use that one. I just can't do it.
yeah. Well, he just
But
like Taim is just like, oh, it drains me, and it's more than just regular fatigue. The
yeah,
manager is like, if you use this against me, it will self balefire you. And I'm
which
like,
that could just be a
that's a
ward.
that's a very very complicated set of automated instructions to inscribe in an already super powerful
Yeah.
Saw Angreal. I mean, I could see maybe that needing to be a feature so that if you were using it in battle and somebody snatched it from you and tried to use it against you, you were safe. But why wouldn't you just say, if anyone other than me uses this, you will die?
Well,
Like,
for exactly the reason we see. Demandred can give it to someone and say, go kill those guys, but just know if you go against me, you'll die. But now I can go back to standing on the mountaintop and screaming, "Lose there and face me!" And I don't have to
I,
worry about using up all my power.
I think he's just saying that, to be honest with you.
All
He
right.
knows
All
that
right.
Taim is so new that he has no idea how this thing works, because it is from the Age of Legends. That
Okay.
he's gonna be like, look, hey, new kid, I'm gonna let you use this, but if you try to use it against me, you'll die because I've set it up
New
that
kid.
way. Like,
New kid, come here.
I mean, because I feel like if it was possible to configure things to inherently destroy somebody if they tried to target you with it, that it would be used on more stuff.
Well, we have. What are there any other examples of this in the stories? Closest off the top of my head, just going back to Kalendor, I can see that you can't touch it. Like certain people can only touch this. Swan Sanche also has a box in her office that only she can open, and if anyone else opens it, it flashes into a fire. Right.
Mm.
So it stands to reason logically that you could say if someone channels flows through this object at me, then balefire.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I could see it being warded to activate Balefire because of the strength of the Saw Angreal.
Yeah.
Because you would need something incredibly powerful to allow for access to Balefire, especially innately on its own.
Yeah.
But I mean it. But then you would also, well, with it, it's a powerful enough Saw Angreal that any wielder that uses saidin could Balefire with it. So, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be like a like. Hmm. I
It,
mean, maybe. I mean, I think is I don't know how you would set the weave to know who the target of a weave through it is.
same way you would set the weave to know who's opening the box.
Yeah, but they're touching the. They're you have to touch the box to open it, right?
I mean, yeah,
My thing is, whenever you fire a bullet from a gun, there's no way to tell that bullet who it is and who it isn't aimed at, or what it is or what it isn't aimed at.
sure.
The thing is, like, how would you be able to set up a ward or program in the staff to know, hey, I'm launching an attack at this guy, bruh. It's just an Excel formula.
I'm staying that up right there. That's just too good.
Right.
Look,
if that is the argument, then I will accept it. That the Mandred's expert knowledge of Excel formulas is how he can tell Sakarnen to destroy anybody that targets him. Because then that also brings the question of, and you see it like it happens in D&D where like, oh, because they have a thing that means they can't be targeted. Well, okay, or in Magic the Gathering, it's a common thing about cards like, hey, this card can't be targeted by whatever. So the way around it is instead of directly targeting that thing, you AoE. So if you fireballed
yeah.
where damage just happened to be near, would you get deleted by the staff because you weren't directly targeting him? I'm still just confused on how the staff would, how the ward would know that you're targeting, unless there's some kind of like warded resonance that Demand Dread is able to do with it, where I don't.
I mean, you could start looking into like bio algorithmic signatures. If any weave originating from this object, from this Angreal, interacts with this biological signature, immediately nullify weaves and re-attack origination point of the channeling. And we know that we do have examples of of objects that only react to the power upon touching them. Matt's Foxhead Medallion. It doesn't do anything, but once someone channels at Matt while it's touching his skin, the weaves go, So
That's the
it's
other thing, though. Like, Demander doesn't say that, like, if you do this, if you attack me or channel at me using the staff, that it won't have an effect. He just says, like, if you do it to me, you will die. So, I mean, I could see if it's a thing on the staff where if it makes contact with Demandred, then it also activates and balefires the wielder. But that would still like I could see that because then Demandred would be like, yeah, whatever you do is probably still gonna like touch me. But the second you touch me in my no square, you're going to the forever box that you don't even
no,
it doesn't even
don't
exist
touch me
anymore.
there. This is my no square.
Yeah. I could see that. If that's how it works, then I could see something like that. Because then you could do like
Or
there's like a two-part ward that like whenever he's hit with channeling from the staff, it kind of connects and it's like, oh, we made a bad fucky wucky.
or there is also, let's like go for the super simple explanation and just be like, he looked at Taim and was like, if you use this against me, you will die.
Mhm.
Not meaning a warding of any kind, just meaning first off, you will not be successful because you suck. And secondly, I will kill you for the insolence.
Maybe he also thinks that he's just so powerful that even if you tried to use
That's what I'm
Sakarnen
saying.
against him, that like it would take so much effort from there would take so much effort from you that you would burn yourself out before you ever managed to destroy him. So he's not even saying that like, hey, I've set it up this way. He's just like, I'm just strong enough that even with this,
Yeah.
if you try it, you will burn yourself out before you
If
ever
you
kill
try
me.
it, I will kill you. I will
Yeah.
murk you for your insolence. For your insolence, sir.
Well, he just says it'll burn you, burn the channeler from the pattern. I mean, he doesn't directly say that like it'll be balefired. I mean, he's probably talking about balefire, but
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
Speaking of balefire, Demandred does use Sakarnen and comes out fucking guns blazing with the forbidden weave of balefire.
mhm.
I mean, unleashes all manner of havoc, and then looks at Demandred or looks at Taim and says, "All right, your turn." And I don't know if he like does he
Well, they know Egwene's got Vora's saw
that
Angreal,
that's where I'm
and
going
that's
with it.
why
Is
he
I think
gives
I
it.
think he's
That's
like,
why he gives it
Taim,
to
you take
Taim.
care of her. I'm trying to save my strength for Luz there. Right?
Yeah, that's why he gives it to Taim. He's like,
Okay.
okay, you need something comparable or stronger than what she's got. Here's this. Go do the thing.
Yeah. Um so then they square off, and this is when Egwene discovers a new weave to repair the damage done by balefire, which just illustrates 2 points. One, this is actually kind of a soft magic system. The more we think it's a hard magic system, it's not. It's a soft magic system, because literally anything is possible. And two, the other thing we get is that
Wait,
each
I just realized that what Egwene does is far more important and incredible than I think I noted ever before. So, creation itself, the pattern itself, is the
right,
prison around the Dark One.
right,
With the exception of the boar, Egwene's weave repairs and solidifies the Dark One's prison. And without doing that, it wouldn't matter what the dragon did to seal him away. It would be imperfect.
so and here's the other thing with that: what physical form is manifested with Egwene's weave? Crystals.
Mm.
Now, a lot of people don't know this, but a crystal is a particular molecular shape stacked together. Okay, it's why they have like Legos. You can only make so many shapes with the 4 square Legos. That's just it. There's only so many shapes you can make with it. And that is because at its most settled chemical structure, you get a single way in which those molecules can be assembled. A diamond, one of the reasons why diamonds are so priceless and so strong is because it's carbon stacked perfectly in this little molecular pattern that is just gorgeous. It's just amazing. So when she does that, you're talking about the ultimate chaos ripping a hole in the fabric of reality being repaired by the most stable chemical matter in existence. And I think that's cool as hell. I think the duality there is cool as hell.
Yeah, no, that is cool. I mean, it's just I never like I knew it was important what she did, but for whatever reason, I guess until now, my brain never put together that she by herself repaired what remained of the prison, and then Rand was able, because of her repair, Rand was able to come in and patch the hole, repair the
because
bore through it.
That was the balefire, right? The balefire is, my guess is that they originally dug the bore with balefire or some variation therein. And when Egwene learns what is known as the Flame of Tar Valon, she patches up the damage done by the balefire on the battlefield to the point to where Rand could succeed enough to seal the bore again. Because part of the plan, that's why the Dark One looks at Demandred and says, "Are you ready to unleash balefire?" And Demandred's like, "Hell yeah, Dark Lord. I got you. I got you, boo-boo. I'll release all the balefires for you, daddy." But that's what it is. Balefire is the ultimate destroyer of the pattern. We're talking about a weave that burns threads out of the pattern. And what better way to destroy the wheel than to burn all the threads out of the pattern? And we've already got, we see evidence of this in the last couple books, because we start seeing the pattern unraveling, the pattern doing things it shouldn't be doing. Which I love. I love that. I think it's super fun that we get those kinds of bits of what is the right word for this? Bits of exposition. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading up on the weave because, I mean, like you said, it's described as using the crystals to fill the gaps. To fill the gaps where things were destabilized by balefire. That's noted to be a weave of pure creation, which directly opposes Balfire's pure destruction.
Right.
So that would basically mean that in the scheme of the pattern, I don't know why I said it like that, pattern. Yeah. That she basically went and found all of the bits of snipped wires or snipped threads and basically bondoed everything back together.
Yes. With the most stable chemical matter in existence, a crystal. Right? That's cool as shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it is.
I love it. Robert Jordan's a damn genius, man. I love his writing. I love the depth of detail that he goes into with these things. I mean, Sakarnen.
That's part of why Logain can't get
exactly
to the Sakarnen, because he would have to use Balefire
and you don't
break
want to
the
risk
crystal,
undoing all of that. Yeah.
Well, I think he was just like, I don't think he had the time that it would take for him to be able to Balefire carefully into it, because that's his kind of thing. Like, he looks towards where Sakarnen is, and towards the people that are trying to get away from everything and be saved. And he's like, I only have the time to deal with one, and he chooses the noble thing of giving up the most powerful saidin oriented Sangreal to save the lives of people. Now, that being said, the Polov Heights collapses in on itself with the crystals. Nothing in there is destroyed. Like, the crystals are still there. Vora's Saagrial is preserved and intact.
You've got the crystal fields of Marilor.
Yeah, is preserved and intact. Along with, hundreds, dozens, if not hundreds, of bodies of Sarins and Egwene and Mazrim Taim. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things like, yeah, you could go back later, excavate, and potentially retrieve it, depending on how easily movable the crystals were. Because we also don't know if the crystals don't in some way resist being moved, because their physical presence in the world acts as the anchor. So, hold on, wait. What if that's weird? For them to remake Sakarnen has to be destroyed. But if somebody's trying to get it out of the crystal and they use Balefire and they accidentally hit it with it, well, then it's gone.
I feel like
or they're just like an infinite number of Sakarnens, like deep in the earth.
Yeah, I feel like they just make it again and again and again. I don't think anything, because you talk about even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. Like, I have to think that there you go. I have to feel like it's reduced to atoms by that point. Like, we're talking about 10,000 years. We don't have 1,000 years of solid recorded history, let alone 10.
Well, what I was getting at is if the physical crystals are linked in any way, or their stability or anything is linked to the patches in the pattern.
Yeah.
As the threads go through and are dissolved and respun, those crystal structures are going to be dissolved out.
Yeah.
As it takes place. So if the crystals disappear whenever their pattern counterpart has been recycled, does that mean that everything inside of them gets destroyed as well? Is everything inside of them already destroyed?
Yeah. Because keep in mind, a crystal, if it's going to suffer erosion, is going to suffer erosion on a molecular level, right? You're going to get molecular slices on the other side. And if something, let's say this comb is encased in crystal, you're going to get atom by atom, piece by piece, sliced off the top of it as well, until and it's just going to wear away with the wall of the crystal.
I mean, that would explain how it all goes away.
Sometimes you even get really fun situations in which stuff that's encased inside crystal, and this is real, this happens in real life, stuff that's encased inside crystal is softer than the crystal, and it erodes away first, leaving a cavity inside the crystal that other like water and minerals and things like that can get into, and that's how you get, you know, colors and shapes and all kinds of things inside a crystal.
I would imagine that's what happens, because I'm pretty sure that everything that has been sealed in the crystals is softer than the crystals.
Yeah, quartz is like, I don't know what it is on the Rockford hardness scale, but it's hard. It's real hard stuff. Diamond is like a 10, and it's one of the hardest known substances known to man. I have to believe that Egwene, when she unleashed that weave that created all that crystal through Vora's, it had to have been diamond. Like, that's the strongest, hardest substance that we have. That had to have been the only thing that could stop the runaway damage and destruction of Balefire.
I think it would be beyond diamond.
Okay, beyond diamond.
I mean,
which would only reinforce that the
I can't believe it's not diamond.
Which would only reinforce that whatever the Sakarnen is made of, it is less hard than diamond. So as diamond wears away, as diamond is being chewed up by erosion in time, that would erode much quicker.
Maybe that's why Logain is like, okay, yeah, it's lost forever, because he immediately recognizes that the amount of effort it would take to reach Sakarnen would put too much strain on the pattern and risks destabilizing existence. Because you would have to use like a ton of Balefire welders just cutting through crystal.
And we don't want that.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thanks for joining us for this tangent-filled episode of our one-hit wonders episode about the Sakarnen. Did you know it was called the Sakarnen before this? I'll bet you didn't, and that's okay. That's why we do these episodes. What are your final thoughts when it comes to the Sakarnen?
It's one of those things that you kind of want to see it used more, so we can understand like what are the actual functions or capabilities of the different parts or whatever. But given how strong it is, it's probably a good thing we don't see it before.
Yeah,
because it probably would have jacked up a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, if it was available and someone and like Rand got his hands on the Sakarnen instead of Kalendor, you know, and he's just running around using the Sakarnen instead, or he's like, oh, I don't care if somebody else gets Kalendor, then there's problems there.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I think it's for the best we don't really see it before. But
Yeah,
I would love to know like why it can come apart in the two pieces, and is there like a dichotomy between the pieces? Is one piece kind of geared towards like making things and the other piece is geared towards taking things away or something? Like I don't know.
I like that. I too, for my final thoughts, I love that it's modular. I think it's crazy that we get to the end of the books and the authors are still throwing stuff at us, still throwing new possibilities at us, still throwing things at us that it's like, what? I didn't even know that was possible. And I feel like, Robert Jordan, wherever he is right now, is just kind of giggling like, hey, there's so many things you don't even know. And Brandon Sanderson has even said, yeah, there's things that I don't even know. You have to go to Maria, or Harriet, or Alan. And I think Alan is largely retired, but he still likes to hang out with the twats. And now you can talk to Michael Livingston, because Michael Livingston has had access to a lot of that, and he has written stuff about the origins of the Wheel of Time. And if you too would like to talk to Maria, Michael Livingston, and possibly Harriet, then you should consider a trip to Charleston, South Carolina in the month of October for the Gathering Madness. Did I just drop that? Should I not have dropped that? Guests are not confirmed. Guests are...
guests are not confirmed, but people have been invited. So
they have been invited. We're planning on that. We're trying to get them. And the more people that come, the better it's going to be. So October, what is it? 26, 27, 28?
25th, 26, 27.
25, 26, 27.
Yeah. Also, just saw another thing real quick on the Sakarnen. It was a cool observation somebody else made. It being the second best ever Saangreal and then it winds up only ever being wielded by people who themselves were only ever the second best.
Oh!
And Logain escapes that trap and doesn't wield it.
Oh, shit. I love that. Because Logain does have a solid moment where people are like, we need your help. We need your help. We need your help. And he's like, I can find it. I can find it. And he turns away from that and begins relief missions, putting the Black Tower to work, doing what they were supposed to do from the beginning. And that's when he starts to earn the respect of everybody that's there. And I love what people say to him. They say, we will bring our sons to the tower to be tested for the dragon's gift. I love that.
We will give you sons.
We will give you sons. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching. You're amazing. We love you. We're glad you're here. We like talking about the Wheel of Time, and it's always better when you guys are here to talk about the Wheel of Time with us. If you, too, would like to participate in our live recordings, you can go to Patreon and join up as a patron for as little as less than $1 a month. It is super, super easy. You can also join for much, much more. We have lots and lots of fun benefits for patrons. Patron benefits will also be extending into live events such as the Gathering Madness. More info to come on that. Make sure you stay tuned. And it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of benefits, a lot of fun things for our patrons because we love our patrons. If you can't support us monetarily, that's totally cool. We get it. Times are crazy. Life is tough right now. All you have to do, though, is just leave a like at the bottom of this video. Maybe hit subscribe. It's a free way. Supports us, supports the channel, and we are supremely grateful for that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, we are the Black Tower. We love talking about the Wheel of Time stuff. From all of us here at the Black Tower, my name has been Josh.
I've been Andrew.
Sweaty.
That's
More info than you wanted. I get it. Sorry. I always go too far. Hashtag oversharing. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. We love you. We think you're awesome. And from all of us here at the Black Tower, wherever you are out there, we hope you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here. Yeah, we love you. Andrew, say goodnight.
Good night, Andrew.